Desmond. Dermot Desmond controls this club without actually owning this club. He owns 29% of the shares. However, his majority stake allows him to control the day-to-day operations in the club. And make no mistake, Dermot Desmond has his finger on everything that happens at the club. Peter Lawwell answers directly to Dermot Desmond. So there is this facade, there is this impression that they want to give out, this image that the fans, that the shareholders own the club, and they're the ones that control the stake, and they're the ones that Peter Lawwell and the rest of the board and the PLC and folks within the club, they're the ones that these players are answerable to, and it's just not true. The club is only answerable to Dermot Desmond, and
so
he's the one that controls this entire process. Now, yeah, I mean, this was set in motion by Fergus, and I think that he had only the best of intentions in what he did. I agree with you. It's not the ideal setup for the club. It's not the ideal structure from a business perspective, from how the club is run on a day-to-day basis, and how the ethos of Brother Walford and the Celtic supporters want to see the club run. It's not ideal, but it's been bastardized by the few that control the most shares and who call the shots on a day-to-day basis. We essentially, Dermot Desmond has the ability to have as much control of the club as if he owns all of the club, yet he doesn't have to own all the club. And furthermore, the other nice part of this is he doesn't have to have people, like an Arab sheik or someone of great wealth come in and try and buy the club from him all in one swoop. It would be incredibly difficult. If I won the lottery and I had $500 million US and I wanted to buy Celtic, it would be incredibly difficult for me to do that. It would take time for me to have to go around and assemble all of the shares from different people, and I have to pay a huge premium just to do it. As opposed to if all of the shares are in one place, or if it's just a single entity ownership, you don't have to go around and pay premiums to each one of the shareholders in order to do it. So it'd be much easier and much less expensive for someone who wanted to come in and make a power play for the club. So it's actually quite ingenious, where Dermot Desmond has insulated himself from any sort of challenge from anybody, who wanted to, even if you had the money and you wanted to buy the club, he's insulated himself from that. He's insulated himself from, being answerable to. He has enough shares where he can basically drown out anybody who wants to mount any sort of challenge on a policy basis. And he's essentially the de facto controller of the club because Peter Lawwell is only answerable to him. So, this is the predicament that we're in.
So there's you go. That is a legacy that Fergus McCann, that Welly said he would spend his $9 million. He took out $35 million. He got all the Celtic fans to sign that last cheque to not Celtic PLC or Celtic Football Club or Celtic, the Academy or whatever. It was to Fergus McCann. So he took his $35 million, and then the legacy of the PLC shows it would be at the whim of a billionaire who wouldn't have to go down the road of Murray and borrow money to take over. I mean, not they had to borrow money to take over, but it wouldn't be a full majority holder, but it would be almost impossible for other people to take it off him, and that other people being the fans. I mean, it's impossible for us to take it over yet. If Fergus McCann was to have left us in a truly better way, it would have been possibly to allow it to go back to the fans. Instead, it'd be a PLC. Then the fans who gave after, every shareholder and everything, it should have been passed straight back to the fans. But and then at that basis, we could have took it forward and we would have been defended ourselves in a better way, because it would have been a true democracy where the fans, it wouldn't have been skewed. Because when you've got Dermot Desmond taking 29% of the shares, then that eschews his voting power, so he can ram everything through, like you say. He can put Peter Lawwell there as his viceroy in charge, enacting everything he wants. But like you say, at that point, it stops the Celtic fans ever being able, powerful, to do anything. And that is a point that, that is a legacy that Fergus McCann left, that destroyed the true hope of Celtic fans to take over. Because as far as I'm concerned, if there's one club in the world who deserves to be owned 100% by the fans, it's our club. And that's me. I'm not saying it out a greedy way or a bad way. I'm just saying it's my utopian dream. It might be my stupid crackpot thing way, but I'll never keep giving up, shouting for it or calling for it, because as a club, as a team, you've got to dream and you've got to hope for the best or want for the best. If you love something, you always want the best. I mean, I've got 3 kids that I love to bits, and I just want the best for them. And so if you love Celtic, you just want the best for them. So in my stupid wee crackpot way, I just wish to God that Fergus had left us. He left us in a good way. He helped destroy the Huns, and he saved us. But I just wish he left it that we, me, you, Paul Larkin, the Parrot, everybody that's listed in there, that we could vote and we could decide, instead of like this vote that we're going to in a month's time. If I go there and get somebody's votes and the Celtic Trust take all the votes, we go there and vote our hearts out, we're still going to get voted down. And that kills me as a thing way, because if it were a true democracy and we were a true thing way, that would be that's a club I want, that's a club I want, that if something is bad and wrong, we can sort it out. But we can't do that now as a fan base. So that leaves me feeling disempowered, and it leaves me feel, we're missing a gig here. I mean, if Bayern Munich can do it, then fucking, we should be able to do it.
Well, listen, I mean, it has to start with awareness. I think that what we're finding is that, fewer and fewer people are just sort of taking the word of the board, and more and more people are starting to ask questions. And, the behavior of the board over the past several weeks has shocked a lot of people. It's really shocked the thinking and the system. I mean, not just the vilification of our own supporters, which is bad enough, but, the response to something as reasonable as increasing the pay packet for employees of the club to at least be, at minimum, a living wage, as defined for the UK. I mean, something as callous as refusing that, coming from a millionaire, I think that shocks a lot of people. So we need to be aware of what's going on. We need to be aware of the ethics that are being violated, and we need to start organizing. And that's why I think that an organization like the Celtic Trust, which has fought the good fight, they've done fantastic work in looking after Celtic supporters and defending Celtic supporters when they've been prosecuted, when they've been vilified, by an unjust and corrupt system of government and police force that heavy-handedly execute these despicable laws. They've been there to back them up. They've fought the good fight against the bill, that has set all this in motion. They see the evils in the PLC structure, and all they are seeking out to do is represent us. Jeanette Finley, she has. I don't want to date her, but she has years and years, if not decades, of experience in organizing. Same with Eddie Toner. These are good people that are looking out for not just themselves, and not just the balance sheet, and not just their pay packet, but for all of us. For us, the supporters, for the club that we all want. That's what they're motivated by. That's why I throw as much support as I possibly can behind them. I can't sing the praises enough. And I think that's a good first step. If we can all mobilize and we can all get organized, that's when stuff starts to get done. Not when we're sitting around talking about it not when we're having to debate people who are going to take swipes at anyone who would dare question. All that's going to do is fracture, and we need to focus our efforts in getting behind a common message, a consistent message, and fighting for the key issues that we believe in. And once we do that, once we sing from the same hymn sheet, and once we're all on the same message, that's when we start to get the attention. I have multiple sources that have shared with me at this moment that Peter Lawwell is pretty concerned. He's pretty concerned about the resolution, that was presented, that is asking the club to investigate the wrongdoings at the SFA in issuing a license to Rangers when they didn't qualify for one. He's concerned about the resolution that's been put forth, asking the club to at least pay a living wage and be a leader in this issue. So this is having an effect. They are taking notice, in spite of the callous and sort of glib response. We just need to keep applying the pressure.
I hear you. Listen, are you all right there with your coffee? Have you had a cold? Are you still suffering a wee bit?
Yeah, no, I'm not smoking the Hindu Kush like our good brother Rock. I mean, I wish I could get my hands on some of that, to be honest with you. But no, I got to catch up with Rocky. Rocky is good people, man. I've had him on my show, and I'm looking forward to having him back. And it was cool, hearing you guys catch up as well. So.
Yeah, I'm try and get you back on again with Rocky. If you're free tomorrow night, if you're still free, we'll try a wee bit earlier and see if we can get him back on and do a thing, because you've had him on and had you on both at different times, but we never managed to get you both together, because the idea was to get him on for a wee bit and then tie you up, and then when I got you on and then we had it's been absolutely wonderful to talk to you, to Graham. It's been really good to get you on and Rocky earlier on there, so
it's great catching up with you, Tommy. It's great to hear from you again, and hopefully things are going your way, pal. It's always good catching up. And listen, anytime you want to talk, just let me know. And it'd be great to speak to yourself and catch up with Rocky as well. So just let me know.
God bless you, then, Graham. Right, I'll speak to you soon, then. Yeah.
Cheers, pal.
Take care. God bless you. All aboard the night train to the USA. That was the name of the show. And God willing, hopefully you enjoyed it. Going to an end. We've got to try and get somebody else from the USA. We ain't finished yet, not by a long way. I will try and put up a wee tune here. Where is it? Just need to try and load it. Wait till we load it. Yes, I think we can get a tune out. We can get one last call and one last tune. Should be alright if I've got it. There we go. I'll maybe get two last tunes. Right, so we'll put that there. Let's get this all out of the way. My good friends here, you know who I'm going to phone here. The lovely Stephanie out in LA.
Thank you for calling the world famous Deja Vu, located on Main Street. We're open until 5 a.m. Join us this weekend for Simple Sundays. This is Isabel. How may I help you?
Isabel, it's 5:30 a.m. in Scotland.
How are you?
Yeah, why are you still here? What time have you got over there? Is it 10:30 at night?
It's 9:32.
So you've got another 8 hours to go?
Have a wonderful weekend.
And you. Bye. Oh, there's actually some people in the background there. They're busy. And that was a body of an American. That was a body of an American there in an early strip joint, where we had a lovely blunt smoking Rocky and a non-blunt smoking Graham. And now we've got a drinking, smack taking, maybe he's totally reformed, crackpot of Ireland called Shay Gowan, singing The Body of an American.